Good to see you again, Mallory. I'm glad we can meet up. Thanks for taking the time to meet up with me today.
Yeah, thank you.
So, how's your family doing?
You know, just got the new baby and it's just been a lot of work, but I'm excited to see where this goes and raise them on the farm.
On the farm?
On
Yeah,
the farm.
That's good. I'm glad to hear they're doing really well. So how is the rest of the farm doing? Have you guys gotten in the field yet, or are you still waiting to see what's going on?
Well, our plot in Gibson City has been dry enough that we've been able to get into it and start, but around Villa Grove, the two 60-acre ones, it's just been too wet. It won't stop raining around here, so everyone's having the trouble that they're not going to be able to get in, and some hope that they can get in at least before July. So,
well, yeah, that would be good if we could get in early.
Yeah.
So you're not the only one that's not able to get into your fields. So
nope.
What? You just letting them sit there? You got cover crops in those fields, or are they just till no tills?
In one of them I have a cover crop. The other one I wasn't able to get one in time. But so I just got in and tilled it.
Okay, that's good. So just wanted to backtrack and double check how many fields you were looking to do a few soil sampling tests and look at your data in both of the areas in Gibson and Villa Grove.
I want to do all three of them. The two in Villa Grove, like I said, are 60-acre plots, or 60-acre fields, and then the one in Gibson City is 250. And so I want to get all three of those done as soon as possible, or whenever it's possible for you.
All right. So were you wanting data for before you plant, or were you wanting the data following harvest season time? For the all the fields.
I think before I plant, since we're gonna get into it so late that I can still make adjustments before on what I'm gonna put in there and the supplements I'll need for my land.
Okay, so it is a little time consuming. Just so you know, it may take 30 minutes to an hour to go through one field, depending how big it is. And we can always go out there together, or I can let you know when we go out there so you can meet us out there to see what's going on. Because it'll be me and a partner.
Okay. So you're saying 30 minutes to an hour for a 60-acre. What about my 251? Will that take a little longer than an hour, you think?
Yeah, the 260-acre field or so will take a little bit longer just because to map everything and pull all the soil samples, I'm going to have to take my gator all the way around the whole field. I'm going to have to make sure I have it pre-mapped for the grid that you were wanting, and then see how many soil samples I need to have, and I'll have to have the bags ready and prepared for your field. So it'll take a little bit longer just because the field is bigger and there's nothing you can do about it, but it'll go fast as long as there's two people doing it. And all of that data with the system that we use goes directly into our iPads, and that also will be fixed, and we'll look at it and see based on the data that comes back from the labs with all the reports with the nutrients that are coming or that are currently in your field, or what you're missing, so we can let you know what we may need to adjust beforehand, or if we're going to have to possibly wait to adjust some of the things until after this current 2019 summer season.
Okay. So approximately how many samples would you take on my 60-acre field?
It could be from 30 to 40, maybe even 50 samples, depending on if you have previous data on these fields or if you don't. The more data, more samples, the better your data will be. And that's it depends on previous data, I guess, and how much you want to get done, and I guess if time management is a big thing for you for getting it done in a quick area of time. So I will be able to do your Villa Grove fields and your Gibson City fields. They probably won't be in the same day. They'll be within the same week that I can meet up and do those fields for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we take the soil samples, after we go through the field, in that time period of the day, we will send all of our samples to the lab, and it'll take a week to get all the results back, and we can send that to you via email. I can also print them off for you, and you can also get into looking at the system and see all of the data that we have collected for every one of those fields, from pH balances and all of the nutrients that you currently have in those fields and currently don't, that aren't being that aren't in the fields. So like I said, you were wanting to do this early and trying to see as possible. Were you looking to do it within the next week, or were you wanting to do like I show you and then I get all of the stuff ready? Were you wanting to come see me do another field, or what would you prefer?
So I guess my first question would be, I really do need to discuss this with my husband a little bit more, but a big issue with us, not really an issue, but a question I would have is, what are we looking at price-wise?
So the price isn't too high, but it isn't too low, so it's about in the middle range compared to competitors.
So comparable to any other?
Yeah, yeah. And because you're only doing 3 fields, it's not going to be through the roof expensive. And we're trying to keep it as low cost to you, because you're just now starting out, trying to get all the data that you need to help your farm grow and produce better crops. And so you said you were going to talk to your husband about this. What did he have any questions about any of the prices or the timing or any of the things that we may be using, or?
I think he really wanted to come see you do one. So if you did have a field like close here anytime soon, that would be perfect. I do think that would be a good learning experience for us, as well as knowing what you're going to be doing in our fields, because I know he's a little nervous to let somebody outside of the family come in and do it. So
yeah, and that's totally understandable. And I'm available to work around your schedule and whatnot, and I can double check and see if we're going to be around in this area anytime soon, or whatever one you prefer. But I will have to double check to make sure that another farmer, if we're in another farmer's field, that it'll be okay with them as well to come and double check and see what we're doing, which shouldn't see as an issue, but I will double check to see how that works. And did he have any other concerns about what was going on or what we planned, or is he really ready to get this moving?
He's pretty ready to get it moving, trying to see what we can do before this harvest, if not, or before we even plant, if not incorporated into the 2020 season. So
yeah, and this data will help not only just this current season, but it will definitely help with the seasons coming up, because we don't soil sample every year. We soil sample like every 2 years. So we'll soil sample those fields that you're wanting to sample today or this week, and then we'll get all the data, and then in 2 years we'll come back and double look over all of what we had done previously and compare it to the samples that we take to see if there's something missing that we need to fix, that we're losing.
Try to level out it.
Yeah. So based on what crops you use in that field, if you rotate, or if you continuously use the same crop, or if you're using cover crops, or if there's something else we need to find out what we're missing, or if we're doing really well and you need to continue that management on that field.
Okay.
So like I said, the prices aren't too bad. They're not too high, not outrageous. And we're just doing a field of those fields that you said you wanted to do today. And I can give you a list of all of our rates. I can print it off and email it to you and your husband so that you both can look at it and decide which route you prefer to go. And then I can give you maps just like this one. They'll be printed out and it'll show you everything and a list of all your nutrients. That's just one of them, but there's multiple maps that we can compare, that we break them up individually. So like your nitrogen and your phosphate or phosphorus and potassium, and we'll break those up and see what you have and you don't have, and see what we can do to fix.
So this is a map of the field, correct? And
Yes.
then, so when you take samples, are you gonna break it up into squares and take so many samples like in within that, or
Yeah.
like how does that work?
In the grid, we do it by grid, so we break up and you have so many samples per square.
Okay.
Depending on the grid that we do, it'll be the amount of samples in the square. And the more samples we take, which will mean that there's more data per square that we do. And that'll help. The more you do, pretty much the more the better. And so was there a time that you were wanting to meet up where I can give you the paper copies of everything, or would you like to just set up a time to get out in the fields and try to start working through stuff?
I would love to get my husband in here and like all of us talk. Unfortunately today he wasn't able to, with the new baby and everything. Somebody had to stay behind. He's not old enough to be put in the daycare and nobody was able to watch him. But I think that maybe sometime next week that we meet up at your office or wherever's convenient for you.
Okay.
We'll find somebody to watch our baby.
Yeah, that'll work for me, as long as it works for you. Would you like me to contact you late into this week, or would you like me to get a hold of you the beginning of next week to see when the best time would be for you?
Late this week should be fine. I'm gonna go home and discuss what we have talked about with my husband, and then see what he thinks. And then, do you have a business card or anything?
Oh yeah, I actually have a few of them.
Okay.
And here's those. If you don't mind spreading the word, because I work in this area, so I'd like to meet more farmers and growers to help them improve their fields too. So as long as we can get this going, that'll be exciting. I can't wait to show you exactly what to improve or what you're doing really well already. So I'll just give you a call into this week, and I'll have everything prepared for our next meeting so that we have everything lined up.
All right, perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you, Maddie.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Oh.